Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah. Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto under 20 every day. Why? Because it works. That's why. I mean, it works for me, an older woman. I love it. I never get tired of the rich, satiating, best of foods that is out there. I mean, having a salad with lots of yummy oil on it and having a nice piece of fatty meat and then having usually six little asparagus next to that piece of meat every night for my OMAD, one meal a day, doesn't get better than that. It just doesn't get better. So here I am today, and I went to look at my reserves of videos, and I don't have any. And I am, the good news is that my coaching business is busy, keeping me busy. The bad news is that it takes time, and that's part of the deal. I wanted it to take time. I want to help people. That's my philosophy. But I'm going to cut back on my videos to none on Saturday. So from now on, I'll be a Monday morning, Monday through Friday, coffee clatchin' kind of gal. Send you off maybe with a smackdown on Friday, a Sarah smackdown to keep you safe through the weekend. And yeah, because it's just one more, and then I can just have the time for my clients as well as my time to keep giving back here because I love it. And Facebook is pretty dismal too. I've run out of time. And what can I say? So I'm sorry that you won't have your Saturday morning send off, but I will continue to do the Monday through Friday and try to keep the content as it is, which is just coffee clatch, talking kind of stuff, what works for me, and then I read about what works for you, and then we share a lot of different things, a lot of new YouTubers or doctors. And speaking of that, Dr. Hyman has a new book out, and so he's been making the rounds of TV shows with it. And I cynically said to somebody, I wonder if he'll be on Dr. Oz or if it's just too much for corporate to hear that the food pyramid is a dismal failure in our world and a lot of other people's that are trying to get and stay healthy. And I believe he runs one huge part of the Cleveland Clinic. And so, he's just nobody. He really knows his stuff. So I appreciate him. And every month in First, which is a woman's magazine that I buy, mostly because when I'm done with it, I can hand it over to female prisoners that are there for the weekend to read because it's got so many articles. He has a little piece in it every month where it's like a menu. The 2 pages are like a menu of a restaurant, and he comments like with his own like penmanship thing on which thing to eat, not eat. And it's kind of like Eat This, Not That series too. And I see that David Zinchenko, I think he had, what did he have? The zero sugar diet, I think he did. Well, he's back as editor at Men's Health. And he did that whole series of Eat This, Eat That. I don't know if they're still out there. But yeah, I'm happy to see him back at the helm. That's how I found him at first. And, so he's not keto per se, but he's definitely zero sugar. And hey, whatever floats your boat. No grains, no sugars of any kind, no artificial sweeteners, no diet soda, and no fruit. That is my keto in a box. And keeping it simple like that is just what is gonna work for me. And I know it works for others because I see it and read about it every day. It just works. If you're not 67 with an old metabolism and you think that you can handle more carbs than I have, good for you. If you're losing and it works for you, good for you. This channel is about helping you find and sustain your consistency and your motivation to keep on keeping on. You want to be a loser. That's what you want to be. You want to be a loser in my book. and in your book too, right? But the interesting thing is how many more people are becoming aware and enlightened of their health. And that's the amazing part. You know, there are so many incredible books out there now. Um, you know, and it doesn't talk about ketofying necessarily. I mean, it talks about our relationship with chronic standard American diet diseases that we were all aiming towards before we got here to keto, one meal at a time. That pyramid of what is it, 6 to 11 servings of a grain? Are you kidding? So we don't need that stuff anymore. And hopefully most of you have been able to give it up. Somebody commented the other day that they went on a cruise and they fell for a dessert that they didn't mention, which is always helpful. We don't want to be triggered. And they were so surprised that I think she said, here it is 2 months later, and it's still in her head. Yes, sugar is that powerful. And when we hand over our power to something on a plate or a bowl because we think we deserve it, we're on vacation, because we'll work it off. This keto is not a diet that you overeat something non-keto and think you can go to the gym and work it off. It's not that kind of a food plan. So if your mindset is still with something like that, where you can cheat and eat something that, like, I don't know, the keto food plan for me took care of those cravings, those triggers. When I go to the stores to grocery shop, it's so funny. You know, I've talked to you about having to squint at Greg's items in the house, you know, the things that he has that are definitely not keto. And now I do it in grocery stores too. It's just, I don't plan to do it. I don't have to work at doing it. I just do it. And so I am not pulled aside by something that I used to be totally, daily consuming and addicted to. And it's just amazing. I just don't do it. I have said here, anytime I talk about it, that the keto pizza, first the Fathead pizza and now the incredible keto pizza from that book, Eat Rich, Live Long, has kept me sane, has kept me on maintenance, even with the almond flour. I don't use the almond flour for anything else but the Saturday keto pizza. And it's just it's my safety, it's my security food item. It just keeps me sane. And then the fun part is that we don't eat the entire pizza. And so I save the pizza toppings and make that into a meal along with my great big salad for Monday evenings. It's like a leftover, and then I make something different for Greg, and it works. And I love it. And the almond flour is a 1 time a week treat. And that's how I roll with it. And that's how it works for me. I love, I just love the simplicity of the OMAD. I have my bulletproof fatty coffee 2 times a day. It seems to work for me. I seem to believe that women need a fatty fast. I wouldn't do a dry fast, and I would not do just a water fast or just a black coffee fast. I am a fatty, bulletproof coffee kind of gal through my non-chewing hours, and it just works for me. It keeps my brain sharp because it's got the brain octane in it, the first one anyway. The second one has coconut oil. So, and I look at coconut oil like my Alzheimer's prevention kit. I make sure that I have a couple of tablespoons of that each day, and it just works for me. I cook with it, that and avocado oil, and then I've got my other macadamia nut oil and my EVU, my extra virgin olive oil that's organic, that I use on my salads. So I'm getting the good healthy oils each day, and those are my 4 faves, along with pasture-raised butter that I put in my bulletproof coffee, along with the coconut oil or the brain octane. And it's just what works for me. along with my organic choices of ground coffee that I have for my bulletproof coffees. Those just work for me too. I use a K cup, a Keurig for my second bulletproof coffee, and I use my little Hamilton Beach trusty, never dusty, $39.99 I think at Amazon single cup serve for my bulletproof coffee. And I use that for the first one, whether I'm going to work or whether I'm not working, and I wake up and I have that in the morning. And you can't kill it. Of course, now that I've said it, it's going to break. But I've had it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, and I use it every single day, and it just keeps on working, and it's $40. It's one of those, it's one of those amazing things where you buy the expensive something, and it never, breaks down frequently or stops working one day, or, you need to replace, just real PIA. And then here's this handy dandy, never lets me down Hamilton Beach single cup serve that I never thought I would be using still without replacing it. I'd happily replace it for 40 instead of the Keurig for, what they say is a sale, but it's not really when you go to buy one. So, I practice my keto in a very simple, consistent, organized way. When I do my keto coaching, Marjorie, yes, weighing and measuring is part of it. It's like boot camp, So for 30 days, you're going to get used to the way that I found my way to maintenance, which is weighing and measuring and being consistent and then tracking it every single day. And you don't have to do it on the 31st day that you're not with me, or you can re-up and just keep it going just to have that second set of eyes view your stuff. Is that any different than people that spend $20 a week to go to Weight Watchers just to be weighed by another pair of eyes? It's not really. It's like you're paying for the accountability because you know that you have to send your stuff to me, your snapshots of your food and your macros, and then you have to report on your weigh-in, and then, stay consistent. And if you're having something you shouldn't have, that needs to be reported too. But it's just nice. It just kind of helps you build your own little foundation of what works for you. The minute you're not with me, do as you want to do as you need to do, but you know that that's going to be inside of you. You do know that while you are doing it, the way that I coach is that, it builds, and you know that you can go back to it and reestablish your connection with your kitchen scale and your measuring cups and spoons and your tracker anytime you need to after that. Or you can continue it and see that really the peace of mind and the freedom it gives the mind, it's just like done, just put in and done for the day. And so that seems to work for me and my clients and other people that have had their own successes, just like the people that are in Weight Watchers that have the permanent lifetime membership for reaching a certain thing. They continue to do probably what worked for them while they were in Weight Watchers, paying every single week for what they got out of the program. Everything is different for each one of us. That's why I call us snowflakes here. And what works for me may not work for you. For some people, the thought of sharing their stuff with anybody else, it's like way too personal, and mind your own business. And for other people, it's like they need the boost. And for other people, it's like, I would never do it your way. Never. You don't do it in a way that has any appeal to me. What I do for myself works for me. Or you could be one of those that does keto for a while and then does the carnivore way. Then there's the way that you might add more carbs to your food plan. You might switch it up. You might have higher protein than I suggest. You might have higher carbs than I suggest. And so the whole thing about keto, it's like this huge umbrella that we're all under. And we all learn how to do it with no grains of any kind, no sugars of any kind, no artificial sweeteners of any kind, no diet soda, and no fruit. And then how we do our own is just this wonderful mosaic of you and your program. And we find what works, and we share what works, and we share what doesn't work. And that's how it works. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you the next time. Monday through Friday, I will have my coffee with you, and I will see you the next time. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto, under 20 for the day. Bye-bye for now.